Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Robinson, and I'm the Executive Director for the Piscataquis County Soil and Water Conservation District, also known as PCSWCD. My apologies for not being able to join in person today, but I wanted to thank you for joining our webinar as we discuss the women's approach to climate adaptation. I've been working for Piscataquis Soil and Water Conservation District for the last 6 years, and before then, I was actually in the field of psychology. I had a career change when a former board member recognized my interest in agriculture and attention to detail and project coordination. I was approached to interview for the executive director position, and since then, I have taken a deep dive in the world of conservation with a hyper focus on forestry. I started my college career by attending Green Mountain College in Vermont as an environmental science major, and I feel like my path has completed its full circle, bringing me back to the area of interest that I love: nature, sustainability, conservation, and recreation, of course. I also own and maintain a 74-acre tree farm with my husband, where we have an organic garden, raised pigs, and home goats who have helped us with our invasive weed management and agroforestry on our lot. A nation that destroys its soil destroys itself, was the warning issued in 1937 by President Roosevelt when he signed legislation authorizing the creation of soil and water conservation districts. At that time, the nation was facing a monumental task of protecting our soil and water from the ravages of improper use that resulted in the Dust Bowl era. The federal government realized it could only solve the problem through strong local involvement and participation. Local people had to be a major part of the solution, which is why soil and water conservation districts were formed. PCSWCD is one of 16 soil and water conservation districts in the state of Maine and are quasi-state agencies, not nonprofit organizations, who are established by state law to oversee all stormwater and soil resources in our county, per legislation MRSA Title 12. Our district works with landowners and operators to help them manage and protect land and water resources on private and public lands. PCSWCD's mission is to build resilient, sustainable farms and forests through education, technical services, demonstration, and stewardship. Piscataquis County is the most forested county in Maine, with Maine being the most forested state in the entire country. Since 1944, the PCSWCD has worked in our community to protect the soil, water, forests, and farms in this region. The forestry work that PCSWCD has been conducting is an ongoing process. PCSWCD owns and maintains and manages 3 parcels of public land that are community forests: the Law Farm Nature Trails, Williamsburg Forest, and Bailey Hill, totaling 380 acres. We are sure that landowners and foresters can resonate with us when we say owning land, and specifically enhancing that land, is a big job. We value our public lands, appreciate their many gifts, but also admit they are a massive undertaking to keep clear, safe, and welcoming. The land management work that PCSWCD completes is based largely on the 10 volunteer board of supervisors with very qualified backgrounds. Most of our board members are foresters who are either retired or currently work in the forestry industry. Some backgrounds include working for Boxer State Park, Appalachian Mountain Club, Bureau of Parks and Lands, Maine Forest Service, and private licensed professional foresters, such as our consulting forester for the Williamsburg Forest and board supervisor Molly London. I'm very confident that I'm surrounded by extremely dedicated and educated individuals to help make this organization successful, including best management practices for the care of our private lands that we maintain to be open for the public use. The past few years, we have received help from many volunteers, partner organizations, and grants, which have helped to maintain and enhance these public spaces. Most of this work was all done with the help from the community and volunteer efforts, and on a minimum budget. The Williamsburg Forest, previously known as the Demonstration Forest, which consists of about 196 acres located in Williamsburg, Maine. By the 1880s, homesteaders of European descent had acquired the land. The Williamsburg Forest was home to 2 families in 1894, the Decker and Lovejoy families. The Decker house and barn stood near the road where the trail's main entrance is now. And you can still see cellar holes from the structures and stone walls surrounded the Decker fields. 20 years later, Sven Larson moved to the northern part of the property. He and his wife Gladys raised 14 children there. You can also find the cellar hole of their home that still stands near the outdoor classroom in the North Loop Trail. In 1940, the Decker property was sold, and it wasn't until 1990 when the Larsons sold both to the U.S. government. The U.S. Forest Service took over management and planted one of the Larson's fields, to red pine, Scots pine, and tamarack. The eastern white pine that now stands in the former Decker field may have also been planted. There are also 2 road crossings on the property, one of which is still in use as the ATV trail and another that ran southeast from the Decker homestead to the Canadian Pacific Railroad. It wasn't until 1980 that the U.S. Forest Service formally deeded the property to PCSWCD. The property became known as the Demonstration Forest, where visitors could see examples of various kinds of forest management. The forest has been used for many school groups and visitors. The Board of Supervisors and staff at the time were very dedicated to its success. 2 outdoor classrooms were built, one of which still stands, several tree plantings, including American chestnuts, a red pine plantation, and a tamarack plantation, which was monitored by the University of Maine and previous board members. Several harvests were also completed, and a forest management plan put in place. A variety of harvest sites were created, including an area where pre-commercial thinning of softwood has taken place and an example of shelterwood harvesting, a silvicultural technique used to naturally reseed and grow the next forest while retaining part of the old. Over time, with the change in management and supervisors at the district, the demonstration forest wasn't prioritized. Trails became overgrown, impassable, signs were broken, and demonstration sites unable to locate. In 2018, we started to rehab the forest and began making a new plan for reviving its history, the work that went into it, and to care for the woodlot to be remembered. PCSWCD worked with the Unity College Trail crew and other volunteers to open up the North Loop Trail, which was completely impassable. Volunteer days focused on clearing down trees, repainting boundary lines, and trail markings. UMaine School of Forest Resources participated in doing an updated GPS map of the trail system, which included then, in 2020, Carolyn Zegra, who was a student and is now the forest manager for Appalachian Mountain Club, and a PCSWCD board supervisor who has been invested in the ongoing progress of Williamsburg Forest. In 2022, we received a Maine Community Foundation grant that allowed us to make some major improvements to the access road with the Maine Inland Fisheries and Wildlife Landowner Appreciation Partnership and a local ATV club, where the roads lead to our outdoor classroom. We also removed all the old signs and updated interpretive signage that is consistent with the demonstration areas and Forestry for Maine Birds program, along with cultural significance to our surrounding neighbors, the Penobscot Nation. We also worked with the Penobscot Nation and the abutting neighbor to install new bridging on the roadway into the forest. The conception of women managing the forest really happened very organically. I believe it came to fruition when Molly London, who was our consulting forester at Williamsburg Forest, and I were talking, and it was apparent that we were the ones spearheading the undertaking of the management of the forest as we know it now, and we knew this would be a niche that would align with the district's views and progressive management ideas, and just simply being women. We had 2 walks out at the forest that we called Ladies' Walk and Talks, where we had a variety of input from professional women in the field of forestry or interest in the forest. The collection of women consisted of a core group of 10 women, which included myself, Jessica Leahy, Molly London, Elisa Shine, Catherine Weber, Amber Hines, Terry Coulong, Nicole Rogers, Maddie Eberly, and Carolyn Zegra. It was Jessica who coined the forest's new slogan, "A Forest for Everyone Managed by Women." The question we asked ourselves then and continuously now is, what does a forest look like when it's managed by a woman? How are we incorporating climate adaptation? We are currently in the process of updating the forest management plan with Elisa Shine, UMaine School of Forest Resources graduate student, and with the help from Molly. We took the recommendations from the group of women that joined us 2 years in a row to walk and discuss the needs and wants of the future of the forest for the future. PCSWCD received a Maine Community Foundation grant in 2023, and again this year to help tackle some of the immediate needs of the forest. The goal of the Maine Community Foundation grant project was to improve accessibility and market the space as a forest for everyone managed by women, encouraging women woodlot owners to explore and participate in skill building activities, forestry demonstrations, and have a safe place to enjoy the outdoors. Like many districts, the community's needs drive the interest towards offering this type of specialized content, and we've continued in growing interest in attendance of workshops catered toward women woodlot owners. With a focus on NRCS EQIP approved conservation practices, Forestry for Maine Birds habitat management goals, and building the forest into a WOW, Women Owning Woodlands, skill building ground. This project involves various local partners, including the Maine Forest Service, the Penobscot Indian Nation, and other local, state, and federal partners. The forest will help landowners see EQIP practices in action and give a working space for female forest landowners to practice management skills learned through PCSWCD's WOW programming. Definitely a specific and specialized space, but we have listened to the public and again, trying to meet those needs. You will see many of the improvements that were suggested by the group of women and supported by the grants that have already been implemented on the field day. We look forward to bringing more workshops and demonstration areas geared towards women specifically in our future programming. The Williamsburg the Williamsburg Forest is also a certified tree farm as part of the American Tree Farm System, listed in Maine Audubon's Maine Birding Trail, and offers signage for Forestry for Maine Birds migration mural. Much of the property is high and dry, but there is a canyon wetland, a scenic overlook with an outdoor classroom, vernal pools, and 2 geocache sites. A trail system of 2.3 miles is open to the public year-round for hiking, bird watching, mountain biking, and snowshoeing. We are currently in the process of submitting a recreational trails program grant that will connect the outdoor classroom and hiking trail section to the gravel roads biking trail that connects to Appalachian Mountain Club's trail. PCSWCD wants the public to enjoy the 380 acres of community forest that we work hard to manage for recreational and educational opportunities. When you provide recreational opportunities for the public to enjoy, then conservation education can be understood as a priority. With the help from the community, we can continue bringing conservation education and technical services to landowners, foresters, farmers, and youth in Piscataquis County. I can't tell you how proud I am to be part of the work our team at PCSWCD is committed to delivering. Come take a look for yourself, and I hope to see you for our field day in person on Friday. You can find more information about Piscataquis County Soil and Water Conservation District on our website, or follow us on Instagram and Facebook for our fun and interactive social media updates. Thanks again for your time, and thank you to University of Maine Center for Research on Sustainable Forests, Maine Tree Foundation, and Forest Stewards Guild for making the Women's Approach to Climate Adaptation event possible. I look forward to seeing everyone for the field day portion of this event in person on May 10th, this Friday, and I hope everyone has a great day, and thanks again.